ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, girls and boys and girls, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, let us know our channel back on. You can like and share. It helps our channel to grow. I'm going to be with you for a few minutes, okay? Just for a few minutes. We'll talk about some things real quick. And you already know what's behind my background. Get the book. September the 30th. First of all, let's have a drink. I'm drinking coffee. Making spirits bright. Make America hate again, I guess, huh? All right, let's start. The Quintico, September the 30th. And Henset and Trump, they rails against woke. Now, this is what I'm reading on ABC News, lays out standards and speeches to the top generals and admirals. In a speech Tuesday morning, before a auditorium packed with hundreds of the nation's most seasoned military commanders, Defense Secretary or Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth called for the end to woke. Wow. End to woke culture in the military and rallied against a litany of complaints such as diversity and probes into hazing. Now, I wrote the book, The Audacity of Woke. Now, what they mean by woke and what I mean by woke is entirely something different. You know what I mean by woke. You know that I am meaning to be aware, to stay conscious, to question your why, to question his story, to question everything that you have learned thus far in your short life. So yeah. By the way, how are you? How are you? I didn't say that in the beginning of our bill. Have another drink. I'm drinking coffee, so I'm wired up just a little bit. Poquito, as they say. Hardly ever drink coffee, but I had to drink a shot of coffee before I do this bill with my people today. The name of our bill is called The Art of Silence. The Art of Silence. Now, the clapper-in-chief and his secretary of Sunday school, Donald Trump, walked into Quintico Tuesday, September the 30th, 2025, expecting a rally. What he got was a funeral. The general sat in perfect silence, faces locked in a kind of a grim stillness that comes from years of watching idiots talk and choosing not to react. DT, of course, he couldn't handle it. That ego so big, he couldn't handle that. Quote unquote, I never walked into a room so silent before. Quote unquote, DT. He confessed it, his voice trembling somewhere between wounded pride and panic. Now, then came the kicker. If you want to applaud, you applaud. Quote unquote, DT. This was not leadership, people. This was a let me think about it. Was a come on, man. It's a Wash Up Vegas act, begging the world, begging the crowd to clap. The commander-in-chief turned into the clapper. The clapper is here. The clapper. The clapper-in-chief. Reduced to puddling and prodding the nation's top brass like a sad carnival barker who forgot his punchline. A campaign rally in uniform instead of strategy. DT delivered his usual melee of grievances. Oh, he talked about President Obama, how he ruined every an era, ERROR thing. He talked about Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, ruined it twice as hard. And only only DJT, self-proclaimed two-term, maybe three-term president could save America. It was less a military briefing than an episode of The Apprentice, Pentagon Edition. The generals, they trained to withstand battlefield chaos, set stone face through the barrage and the bevy of nonsense. They endured artillery fire with more enthusiasm. Enter Pete Hegseth, American pastor in arms. It was his turn. Trump's Secretary of War. He took the podium with the intensity of a man who thinks that Tom Clancy novels are actually military doctrine. What the? Focus? He promised fire and brimstone, called for the purges of fat, out of shape, corpulent generals, and announced he wants the next war to look exactly like the Gulf War, because apparently it's still 1991 and CNN is running that same grainy footage of tanks in the desert. But Hegseth, he wasn't done. He led them in prayer. Yes! The truth is stranger than fishing. Yes! He led them in prayer, The nation's top generals, summoned by presidential ego, now folded into a forced altar call like Esther's at a mega church revival. The separation of church and state? Question mark. Obliterated. Constitution shredded. Yeshua, the Christ, as you call him, Jesus, apparently is now the commander-in-chief. DJT can play vice. Weakness on parade. DJT likes to brag about firing and getting rid of generals who aren't warriors. But on Tuesday, we're not gonna call it Tuesday because they chose September the 30th, so we're gonna call it Tuesday. The real firing squad was silenced. They were silent. The art of silence. Not one clap. Not one cheer. Just the steady hum of contempt vibrating off the brass like feedback from a dead microphone. Like a dead microphone. These men and women who have seen actual combat. They have buried soldiers. They have lived with the weight of real command. And now they're expecting to cheer for a man who brags about moving a submarine or two or three. Like it's a toy in a bathtub. Or who lectures about the two in words. Nuclear and... I can't say it. He said those two words, in words, can be said. Nuclear and... ninja. Which would be nice about it. As though nuclear strategy was a stand-up routine. No fucking wonder they didn't clap. The pin drop presidency. What happened in Quantico wasn't just awkward, it was a diagnostic. You see, DJT's presidency is a hollow shell propped up by applause. When the applause disappears, so does he. Want some applause? Let's get some applause. Let's get some applause. Want some applause? Let's get some applause. This is what he wanted. This is exactly what he wanted. Let's go! DJT! DJT! Make America hate! Great. Enhanced. He's the zealot in chief. Yeah, that's what he is. He's the zealot in chief, delivering sermons about war and Christ in equal measure. A man confusing the book of Revelation with the Pentagon's operations manual. I wish I was making this up. But the truth is always in the joke. Together they make quite the duo. One who is desperate for applause, cheering, egomaniac claps, and the other desperate for amens. Amen, amen, in the circle, amen. No. The generals gave them neither. Instead, what's the name of this bill? The art of silence. Instead, they gave silence. You know what silence is? You say the quiet thing got loud. You have more volume when you say nothing. It screams out so loud. Again, instead, they gave them silence. The most cutting judgment of all. If you made it this far in our Inspirational Minutes with David, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Yes, we're on government lockdown as well. The troops out there not even getting paid while the government is locked down. All of this. Again, if you made this far in our Inspirational Minutes with David, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and let you know our channel is back on. Hit the like and share. Helps the channel to grow. Know that if I love me, I love you. And when you love you, it's synergy. In return, you love me. I'm going to leave you in peace. Positive energy. Always create evolution. I love you. I love you in truth. Peace.